Hi there, welcome. So, it's the first time you join this channel. My name's Chris, I live in Japan, and today is day, what is it? Day 4, day 5? Five. It's day 5 of the Golden Week holidays, and so what I'm doing is I'm actually making a video every single day of that week, and then basically I feel I've done something with my week off. So today I just thought I'd talk a little bit about my situation that I've had with some cats recently. So for those who don't know, I moved from Tokyo to Chiba, in the northern part of Chiba, about 2 years ago. And when we were living in Tokyo, I'm married, I've got a daughter, and we've got 2 cats. We have 2 ginger cats. One is called Lanny, and then we've got the other one, which is called Leo. And he is the docile one, the dumb one. We've been living life very well over here with those cats, but we did live in a very small house when we were in Tokyo. When we came here to Chiba, we didn't really expect to have any issues at all with cats. It was, everything was hunky-dory. And in fairness, those 2 have been excellent. There's been no issues with them whatsoever. It's the other cats that have become a problem. So one night we realized that there's this one cat that kind of just comes around and hangs out near our house. And we're not entirely sure where this cat has come from. And so she's a bit of a stray cat. And so this cat has now become part of our life here in Chiba. And she's been outside. She comes over, she just wants the attention. She isn't owned by anybody. We've checked with all of our neighbors. So one day, it's in the middle of summer, so we see this cat regularly. My daughter loves hanging around with this little cat outside. And one day, I haven't seen it for a couple of days, and I'm wondering if it's okay. And then I see the cat, and it's middle of summer, right? It's like 40 odd degrees, and this cat is like bones. I then take it to one side in the shade and I just give it a load of water, give it some tuna. Yeah, after that, she seemed to get a lot better. And so I then was worried about this cat. And so because she's now technically the cat that we look after, we feed it outside, we come over and we pet it, we sit outside, she comes over, she jumps up on next to us and just chills out next to us. She feels like our cat, even though we know nothing about who owns this cat. One thing we have established is nobody owns the cat. And so what happened was, I was thinking, because this was in summer, where does this cat live when it flipping gets to winter as well, right? Because here in Japan, it also gets pretty cold, and especially where we live in our little area, there's kind of a little bit of a cul-de-sac there. It means it gets super cold. It was like -4, I think, at one point during winter. So I was just, okay, I'm gonna do something here. So I built a cat house out of spare wood, like cheap wood from the DIY store. And so, yeah, here's some pictures of my attempt to make a cat house. So we took it to the vet and we were like, okay, let's plan to get this cat in and she can join our family, because it's kind of getting cold outside. It's kind of, summer's rough here. A little bit of a hard life for this little cat. Turns out the cat has got feline AIDS, which then means you can't mix them with cats that are indoors who do not have feline AIDS. So it was just like, okay, well, she's going to have to stay outside. That seems to be the only solution that we have, unfortunately. But it's fine. We kind of still look after her. She's still kind of like our little cat. And we've called her Tama, Tama-chan. And so, yeah, she's always around. I really hate this flipping hedge here because it's always something rustling around here. There's like geckos and stuff, and they jump out every now and again. It's probably snakes in here as well. Anyway, so then moving forward, about 2 weeks ago, I was driving my daughter to the station so she can go to school. And it's about a 2-kilometer ride. It's not very far. As we were kind of going around the corner a car that was in front of us just quickly swerved, and I slammed on the brakes because I didn't know why it was suddenly swerving. There in the middle of the road is this black cat laid out in the middle of the road, like squarely in the point where it's going to get squished within the next 10 minutes if nobody does something. I stopped the car on quite a dangerous corner, where you just don't stop the car. So I had to put on the hazards. I basically picked this cat up. My daughter's sitting in the car, we're going, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I picked up this cat. There's blood everywhere. And so I pulled it to the side of the road. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to work out what I need to do with this now. So I took my daughter to the station, which is only a couple of minutes away. I turned around and came back to a place where I could park. And I went to see the cat, and it was in a bad state. It was not in a good state whatsoever. So I spoke to a couple of other people who were there, and they were like, yeah, I'm not touching that. But it's quite a fat cat. And I was just like, okay. So I managed to put the cat in a box, which I just happened to have in my car. And so I then took the cat back to the house with me and just kept it in my garden because basically didn't know what else to do with it. It was also like 7 a.m., right? There's nothing open, there's no vets open, there's nothing. And, this cat was in good condition, really nice. So we then take the cat away, or I take the cat away, put it in the house for a little while. And then what I do is basically just look after the cat in the yard outside the house. But the only biggest problem is this cat cannot stand up because it's been walloped. Whatever car hit it and drove off, by the way, whoever hit it, it was just an arsehole. They didn't stop whatsoever. So this cat was disoriented. It couldn't stand up. It couldn't do anything. There's blood all over its face. So I'm like, this cat doesn't have long. So I phoned up, managed to get hold of the vet about an hour later. I took it to the vet, and he basically said to me, if you'd been half an hour later, this cat would be dead. So I'm like, great, we're saving its life. Wonderful. And then it came to like, okay, now what are we going to do with the bloody cat? Because I don't know whose cat it is. Like, it's not. And so the weird thing is that this cat, I think I've seen it in our yard before. It had one eye that was a little bit blown out, doesn't look like it was working very well. And it was hanging around with Tama, the other cat. And they were kind of friendly with each other. I've got a feeling like it's just the same cat. Because this cat is like jet black and it looks very, very similar. And so we basically had to look after the cat. We phoned up a couple of cat shelters and they were like, look, we're full right now. So we're happy to take the cat in and try and find a home for it as long as you can look after it for a little while. We'll take it when we have space. So that's what we're doing. So now we've got this little cat living in my house, actually right next to my desk because there's nowhere else to put this cat. And it's the cutest damn cat. Cutest cat. She's so lovely. She's easygoing, chilled out. And so far, she seems to be quite happy. The one thing that we didn't expect, though, was that when the doctor had x-rayed the cat, he was just like, yep, she's got like 5 kittens. And I was just, oh my God, now I've got to deal with 5 kittens. Oh my God, what am I going to do? So his recommendation is like, look, you don't know whether the cat's going to survive or not. We got to get them out when she stabilizes. And so, and hopefully we can easily find homes for new cats. And so they did the operation, got all the kittens out. None of them survived, unfortunately. I think it was just probably too much of a hit and too much stress on the cat when she got hit by the car. But now she's living a nice little life next to my desk. So, like I noticed a couple of my colleagues going, have you got a cage next to your desk? Well, I'm on a Zoom call. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, but you know, she seems to have some problems eating. She can't eat solid foods. It seems like, I don't know whether something in her jaw hurts or something like that. And yeah, and so you know, it's been quite, I'm happy that I picked up the cat, because basically she's a lovely little cat, I've got to admit. And it would be a shame for her to have died pointlessly because everybody else just walked away. So I don't regret doing what I did. At the time I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to deal with a lot of vet bills and all this kind of stuff. But the vet was actually very fair. The vet said to me, look, you pay 1/3, we pay the other 2/3, he said. So, you know, we're doing this at cost. So we're not, you know, we're not charging you, we're not going to rip you off. And fair play, the bills did not come to much in consideration of what I'd asked them to do. You know, they basically kept the cat while we prepared, you know, for taking it into our house for a week. They looked after it. You know, it hardly cost anything. It was like about 20, 30 quid, something like that. So considering they fed it and did everything and looked after it, you know, checked in on it, given injections and God knows what, I felt that was fine, you know. So yeah, so now we've got this cat. We've asked around, nobody seems to know about it. There's no chip in its, you know, no tracking chip, so there's no way to find the owner. So yeah, we've got this little cat who we've now named Momi, which I think is princess or something in Hawaiian. All our cats have got Hawaiian names, so it made sense to call her something like that. But yeah, when we name a cat though, it kind of just gives it a bit more of a realistic thing that it's your cat, and kind of makes it more awkward when we've got to give it away later. I am a little bit worried about that point. I have to admit, I've grown quite attached to her, even though she's only been here for a little while. So yeah, so that's my story about the cats. I'm a soppy little guy at the end of the day, and that's basically what had happened. So yeah, now we've got, and so the ironic thing is that even though this cat was wild, it didn't have feline aids. So we were able to bring it into the house without any worry whatsoever, while my other poor cat, Tama, is still stuck outside. But she seems pretty happy. Tama is also a lovely natured cat, and she's pretty chilled out, and so she's lovely to be around all of the time. That concludes my story and my video for today. Tomorrow, I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. In terms, I may actually go cycling somewhere if I'm feeling okay. Yesterday I wasn't feeling that great, I'm going to be honest. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow, and if I can go cycling or do something. Or if there's anywhere you want me to go within Tokyo, just give me a shout and I will maybe go for a trip down to Tokyo instead. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I will speak to you guys again soon. Catch you later from Chiba in Japan.